Hello friends, welcome. Just finishing up a game of Everdell actually, so I'll have to stay a little bit focused on that. We're going to be painting maybe this guy, maybe this actually. Yeah, I think we'll do this. So we've got a lot of candles here. Just going to check mine. I wonder if I'm going to win this one. Yeah, we've got a lot of candles, so there's going to be a glow, but it's going to be pretty subtle, I think. So I think we'll just go with boop, boop. 66, will it be enough? Will 66 points be enough? Don't know. I forget what colour I used for these. It's definitely that. And, oh no! Oh, his finger flew off. Well, that finger's cursed. That finger is not one to be. That's a fucking classic. I don't know what to tell you. His finger's broken for the second time. What an absolute peanut. I don't remember what colours I was using. I think it was this green maybe. And what? Hello, Paul. Who? Paul. What was my grey? I don't remember. I know, light sea grey. Where are you, light sea grey? Hello? Light sea grey and violet. That's right. Good. Okay. Where's my light sea grey? There. I just broke his finger. What an absolute classic move. Yep. So we're underway with the Vampires project. If you didn't catch yesterday's stream, we are well underway. Where did I put my brush now? Here. So the reason I'm doing this this section now is I think I want to have this be painted in concert with the other bits. $150,000. That is a lot of time, mate. That is a very large and long amount of time. I can't reconcile that you think I'm that interesting. Okay, let's go. Alright, so I think we had some violet. So let's add some violet. What happened yesterday? Yeah, so we did a little bit of work on the vampires yesterday after stream. I'll show those off soon. But yeah, I think we're on track here. It's looking like a pretty promising start. We need to probably start to think about the overall levels of saturation on these elements that I've started painting so far. I've gone a little too colour heavy, probably early. So I think we're going to need to just bring that down a little. Which I'll show in a little more detail why later on when we pull out the base. Not this base, the other base, because there's a bigger base than just this one. Indeed I have, mate. I have completed the first story, which is the original Tainted Grail. And I started the second story, which is called Age of Legends. But only got about 5 chapters into that. So it's an okay game. It's probably not one I'm going to rush to get in on the second Kickstarter, I don't think. But it was good, and I had a good experience when I played it, but the experience that I had is probably enough of a game. What I experienced was probably enough for me. Who was that interview with, Rocket? Yeah. Oh yeah, from the Jillaroos. Yeah, look, it's if you've not played a lot of games like that, it's a pretty good game. I didn't dislike it at all, but yeah, I've played a number of games now, and if the choice were between, say, Oathsworn or Tainted Grail, I'd steer towards Oathsworn every day of the week. Yeah. Just a very, very much more engaging story. Better overall product, I think, is Oathsworn. don't say that purely because they gave me free models. It was just a much better overall experience. Yeah, that's the one. The Kickstarter's out next month, 18th, I think. Yeah, that's the one to go for if you're keen on a campaign game. Delightful. We're at chapter 10 now in the game. It's very, very good. All right. Now we have the real absolute value of having things easily accessible. If we can just do this. How great. I can't believe I broke his finger. All right. If you haven't seen, this is the big project. I'm taking a look at this because I just want to see the light. Yeah, pretty much this whole area is in light. So we sort of stop it about here. Really? Okay. Hugo's excited about something. Yeah, that wasn't a picture. that was a model. Sorry, I just got to get Hugo. We're back. Yeah, outrageous, hey? I loved it. Alright, I think we will start by just softening up this. Can Para win on the weekend? I hope they do, mate. The one thing that makes me think they're a chance is that Penrith's got nothing else to prove. They've already won a premiership. They've got 3 grand finals in a row. They are minor premiers. I just think the Eels might want it more, but Penrith are the better side. G'day, Critical Paint. So, we'll see. We'll see. The smart money's on no. Hello there, Jan. Alright. How orange do we go? Pretty orange. We'll go pretty orange. Pretty orange. Yep. Okay. Bit of Griffhound orange as well. And no, we won't airbrush that, we'll just paint that on. But let's put a bit of Pterodon turquoise into this. Yeah, fair observation, mate. I also hope that it is a better game than that travesty. Would have been better if the Lions made it, mate. Fucking go the Lions. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong. We're always on the ball. Alright, let's talk about the real pain points in this project. There's a number of them, but the main one, the one that is staring us right in the face right now, is the overall lighting. We've created a very clear light source with the moon, but being able to incorporate that effectively across every piece, every figure in this is going to be the challenge. It is going to be a big challenge. There's just so many different angles to consider. Which you'll see a little bit more as we get into it, because this particular model, we have the light coming from above, from the moon, and then we're also backing that up with the light from these candles, which is just going to be a challenge. Better go get ready for Discord just in case Buccarino wants to join. The answer to both of your questions is yes. Hello, Duath Kellen. Thank you. Happy time zone to you. There is indeed coloured light, and I think pooling it will be awesome. If we can do that. So, we got some fun times ahead. But that's what you sign up for when you do something like this, isn't it? Well, I don't think we'll have that be an overt aspect of it, the pooled light. I think we'll try and keep it sort of very hinted at, as opposed to obvious. I did, yes. It was supposed to arrive today because I ordered express. However, they sent it to the wrong place, and so it's going to arrive tomorrow. I have the moon. I have the the background stuff. Where did I put it? So yeah, so this is going to go in the back of the stained glass in the window. It's just some clear stuff, but it's also a little bit cloudy, so it's going to diffuse it a little bit more, and then we'll glue this down, and then we will fill coloured resin into the holes in the stained glass. That's my theory at the moment. Yep. It's a bit challenging, so yeah, should be fun. Yeah, did yours go to Molendina? Mine went to Molendina for some reason, on the Gold Coast. Don't know why. Look, I think it will be pretty technical. I've got the base up here, so let me show you the base. This can just go up here. We'll need to adjust the camera angle for this a little bit, I think. Alright, So nothing's glued yet. As I'm sure you can tell. So here's the base. Alright, so what I've done, which is pretty cool, is I've created this little back plate thing, which is just foam board that pulls off. So this is where all the wiring's going to go in here. I'm going to put a white LED here, so there's a light, looks like moonlight's coming through this window that's been boarded up. And then these clear things go over here like this to diffuse that light. And then the moon, which I'm going to paint a little backdrop as well with like clouds and stuff. The moon will sit in here on the back of this. But I don't know how bright the LED is yet. We've got to find out. So then, because this is filling in this gap, I should, theoretically, be able to pour resin into each of these little holes. However, I don't know that we're going to get a completely airtight seal, so we might not be able to do multiple colours. We might just have to go, I'm not sure. Depends how well I glue it, I think. I don't know. The actual pouring of the resin part will be relatively simple. Just making sure they're all sealed up. I suppose I've got the LED resin actually, or the daylight resin. Maybe that's the go. Maybe I'll use that. But yes, that's the plan. So I'll do the wiring tomorrow, I think. Depending on if I have time before games night. Yeah, it should be fun. It'll just be a matter of if we can get it all looking good, you know. It's just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. All right, let's do something fun. Okay, let's go. Oh, I'm just gonna paint this little jobbo. Just give me a break from painting rocks. The other question I'm asking myself at the moment is how much blood is too much blood? I'm thinking about doing a river of blood running from the back of the scene, pooling at the front, in front of this vampire's throne. I feel like it'd be really, really cool. Rivers of blood. Whoop. It's just water. Yeah, no, I'm trying to be a little healthier this week. Eating some healthier meals. You never know how much, right? Like sometimes you put your blood spatter on and it's just like, bleh, I've ruined it. I've gone way too heavy. Other times you do the blood splatter and you're like, maybe a little bit more, and then you ruin it. I am very glad I left this piece off. Is that a hip bone or a rock? Not sure of the answer to that question. Let's pretend it's a rock. Might be a hip bone. Alright, okay, let's go. Or do we go black candles? Yeah, I think black candles is a much safer option. Much easier to do. Cool, alright, so let's do this. So we need to balance cold light. Cold light is the trick. Because we have the moon, which is a very cold light. So my final highlight colour on my gold is not going to be a warm yellow. It's going to be a cold blue. So I don't know if anyone's gone and watched the entirety of the Kingdom Death judging streams or not. They were on last weekend. If you haven't, they were pretty good. I recommend checking it out. Not for me, but more for Christoph Kovalchuk. He had some really insightful commentary. Worth signing up to his Patreon if you're not already signed up on his Patreon. So I'm not signed up on his Patreon, but I'll explain why. Because I actually was for a little bit. I really like learning the way other people do things, and then taking that information and trying to apply it to my own work. And sometimes I learn pretty quickly, other times I need to re-watch it a couple of times, and then other times I learn it and then I acknowledge that it's quite skilled, but it's also not how I want to paint. And that's what it was like for Red Av's style. It's very painstaking work, and it's awesome, but it's not for me. But it may be for you all, so I recommend checking it out and trying it for yourself. You can sign up for a Patreon for like $12. Make sure you do it at the start of a month, and then you get access to all of their videos for the last little while. So just do it. You can then go and watch all of their videos over that period of time and then decide if you want to stick with them. The one I talk about mostly is Sergio. I've been on Sergio's Patreon for however long he's had it active, which I feel like has been 3 years. Hey Salad Bum, I don't believe I will be at PAX, no. I think there's some sort of painting event happening on the weekend, but no, I will not be there. It's more of a computer games convention, I think, isn't it? I mean, I've never been, so. Okay, yeah. I got friends who live in Melbourne that I think are going, so I might get them to tell me what the vibe's like. If there's a lot of tabletop game stuff, I'd be pretty keen. But my understanding is that it's more of a computer games event. So if that's incorrect and I'm proven to be wrong, glorious. Sign me up. Yeah, cool. Alright, might be worth making the pilgrimage next year. trudge along. Alright, so on this side, what we're actually going to do is just add a little bit of greeny colour instead of the yellow colour to represent more of a cold light on this side. Awesome. Alright, mate, see you later. Have a good night. Okay, let's go. Alright. We have a gold chalice. It's a good start. Black candles. The interesting thing about a project like this is anytime you're bored about painting one thing, you can always be like, yep, I'm going to stop here, I'm going to go paint something completely different. And that can be really useful for keeping the enthusiasm levels high, but it also can be detrimental because you are going to have to come back to it at some point. So sometimes it's best to just push through. I've started with an area that I felt would be a real challenge in this base plinth and throne. Probably the models I was, least enthusiastic about painting, and saving all of the fun ones till last. this is a nice little bit at the moment. Painting these candles black reminds me of a film that I watched quite a little while ago now, that I actually think was one of the most underrated and underappreciated films of our generation. Stardust. Claire Danes, Ben Barnes, Charlie Cox. Mark Strong was in it. Michelle Pfeiffer is the witch. Hey Benny. And of course, Captain Shakespeare. Yeah, tremendous movie. Tremendous movie. Now, Benny, I'm glad you're here. I've got a question for you, mate. My sister sent me a message saying you really need to watch the making of Star Wars things. It's called Light and Magic on Disney Plus. Has anyone watched it? My sister's been hounding me to watch it. She's like, it's so good. I think the only reason why my sister's watched it is because my nephews love Star Wars and everything to do with Star Wars, so she would have been coerced into it by them. There is more candles than I realized, and it seems to me you've lived your life like a candle on this rock, never fading when the sun sets and the moon sprays in. And I would like to know what you look like with moonlight and a candle. Some of these candles burned out long before, but I hope my LED never will. That has got to be one of my most secret and hidden pleasures in this world, is watching making of documentaries of Lord of the Rings.
Well, you're gonna say the song
Candle in the Wind. No, Rocket. I don't find that song to be a secret hidden pleasure. I do like it though. Yeah, Elton John's about Princess Diana.
Yeah, it's trashy.
Yeah, that's why it's so good. The Lord of the Rings making of is just probably the best television you can watch. I say that wholeheartedly, unreservedly. It is magnificent. Rocket's over here like, yeah, but have you watched the Kardashians? The Hobbit ones were good. They probably weren't as good, I didn't think. For whatever reason, they didn't feel as focused. I really liked how focused the Lord of the Rings ones were. They had a narrative. Watching them had a tempo. The Hobbit ones were just a little bit all over the shop. Bit sloppy jalopies, you know? Anything and everything all of the time. Alright, let's paint some bone bits. So I've been using this colour a little bit on this project so far, and it's a colour called Light Sea Grey. It's a good colour. Where is it? Put it away somewhere. It's my go-to colour for cold lights, probably. Because it's not quite as pale as some of the pastels can get. So if you don't have that colour, do yourself a favour. Whip out and get it. See if you can get it to work for you. Oh, good work, my man. Good work. All we need is Jimbo now to lift his game. Get our fucking website ready to roll. think I should probably put this guy on actually. Good work, my man. You're a vital cog in the Crimson Brush machine. Probably the most vital cog, actually. Mate, pictures sell. Pictures sell things, my friend. Without good quality pictures,
Hello, hello.
oh, hello there, Andrew.
Hi, mate.
What's been happening?
Today,
Yeah.
just coming down from a whirlwind of a weekend. So,
It looked like it was a whirlwind of a weekend, actually.
it was. We don't half-ass anything. That's for sure.
You full ass it, don't you?
Yeah. Put the whole P into it.
It's the only way to fly.
Look at this. Look at this. Some new mood lighting going on here. Very nice.
Oh wow, we got the new rig set up. Here we go.
Where am I?
Let's get you on the stream, mate. Let's get that rig on.
Let me get me centered. Where's good?
Kiki Miniatures Mania, welcome. You've rated just as Andrew, the great man himself, has joined us. Welcome, you champions. I do need to add my little overlays and stuff so that things come up when people join the stream and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. That's magnificent, Andrew. Look at that.
You like that?
Saturation generation, getting amongst it.
It's not a bad shout, eh? Let me just turn Twitch down. I'm getting a lot of echo. The abundance of shelving. Literally what all hobbyists desires, right? Nothing more than shelves.
Yep.
Shelves as far as the eye can see.
All right.
Everything the light touches is yours for hobby.
Everything the light touches.
This is my. I guess you would say this would be my studio. Yeah, studio. It's more of a studio now than anything. So, and then my gaming room is the other room, and that's been on the go the last 4 days as well. So where I'm at right now was originally my bedroom with my wife. So we have now moved to that room behind us. And then over on this side of the house is where my gaming room is. I'll see if I can link a photo to that. You can see that. I kicked her out, indeed.
What a tremendous upgrade. Well done.
It looks better, doesn't it? Like it's better for the. I fit the bubble better this time.
You do?
The portholes of destiny. Yeah.
Did you ever watch that show, Twins of Destiny? The Twins of Destiny. I feel like that was a precursor to Avatar.
No, I never did watch that.
Does anyone else remember that show? Is that just a Deno? Imagine.
Please don't apologise, Paul. I'm just being an art wank. What is it? To be the part, you've got to play the part, or something like that. Isn't that saying?
Dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Yeah. Yeah, this one can do. It's in there.
So what are you working on, Bucks? It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has been a hot minute. I'm working on a gift for Jim for his birthday.
When's his birthday?
It's been and gone.
Oh, good. Happy birthday, Jim.
It was early in the week, so. So I'm painting Targa the Dwarf from Hera, but as in the Stonebeard colours.
Didn't even know it was his birthday. He's a secretive man, old Jimbo, isn't he?
Can be. He's a dwarf, but tall.
Yeah, he's not that tall.
Yeah, he's still shorter than you.
Yep.
There you go. This is the gaming room, minus the LEDs that I chucked up. Minus the LEDs that I chucked up behind all the cabinets yesterday. So.
Is it really a gaming room without LEDs, hey?
Everything's got to have LEDs, right? Max LEDs.
So, what does it feel like in this space? Do you feel like you've got more ability to be creative?
I feel both simultaneously, both simultaneously like excited but trepidatious, because like whenever you enter a new space, when you're like, I guess when you're creating stuff, right, like you get into a solid routine of where everything is, where it was. It's a creature comfort, right? So completely changing that all up is just got to settle into the new spot.
Yep. It does actually take some time, doesn't it? You get used to where
it does.
Yeah, everything sits and.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, like your space is quite like my space was similar to yours in how tight it was.
Yeah.
Which is really cozy, and you get used to that. But unless you're like where we differ is that you curate your area a lot better than I do, and so I feel like you're moving stuff in and out, whereas I'm sort of just moving stuff in most of the time.
Yeah, you just accumulate.
Yeah. And I guess where we differ as well for all the punters at home is that you don't like to have too much of a backlog of projects loaded up, whereas that doesn't worry me as much. So I tend to hold on to a little bit more in that regard. So
yeah, I like to
also
one and done pretty much.
Yeah. Also, I guess I'm still. I guess that'd balance out, because where I've got all the wargaming stuff, you've got all the board gaming stuff. So
yeah.
But no, it's really like a part of it is in preparation for when all the wonderful guests, are in the state, and we have a space to do some pretty cool things in. So
I hope I'm included in those guests.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we got the ARC painting convention now down in Victoria.
We do. Is that? Are you strongly considering this for attendance?
Yeah, Rocket and I are pretty much locked in. Hey, Rocket. Yep. So
I'm very excited for that, because we're also coming of age days on that weekend, or just after that weekend. So.
Yep, indeed we are. Little birthday extravaganza, painting competition, dinner.
Yep. We could do something else, potentially.
What, you're talking about a wife swap?
Wife swap?
Jeepers. Well, you're the one who suggested it, mate, so, okay.
Well, look, I suggested something else. You went there, pal.
Now, what else are we going to do?
I don't know. We could do, like we could go out, do an escape room. I mean, that's not really my
Yes.
jam, but I know you like those, and
Yes.
Benny and Storm enjoy that sort of stuff. So
Rocket, we should take him to an escape room.
Wait, I'm confused actually about what we're talking about now.
The trip down in Melbourne next year.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Monty, and I was like, why would you even escape room in Monty?
Alright, Rocket thought I was talking about Monty.
And then I thought,
classic Rocket. How's Jimothy going? Is Jimothy alive? Or is he dead?
Jimothy is alive, and I got in trouble for expressing that he died the other day.
the opposite thing.
Rocket, come and tell everyone. Come and tell everyone. I don't understand.
How can you not understand? It's just a narrative.
Come and tell everyone, Rocket. They need to hear from the horse's mouth.
Jimothy's dead.
Jimothy's dead.
He's been dead for weeks.
He's been dead for weeks, apparently.
Okay?
Alright, Rocket, but how did it happen?
He froze to death after going for a swim in the pool in winter.
He froze to death after going for a swim in the pool in winter. That sounds a little bit like inattention from his owners, don't you think?
That just sounds like murder.
Yeah.
Children have owners.
Children do have owners, mate. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
One thing I am getting used to though is getting my lights right. So if I apologise if my lights are going to be like right in front of my cam at the moment. I've got to change some things up for the people at home.
Rocket, everyone wants to know about Jimothy.
I just told you about Jimothy.
Come here and tell us straight from your mouth what happened to Jimothy.
No.
Obviously, I'm ruining the story.
Well, because you just keep changing it for the drama.
Well, why did Jimothy die? Why did you kill him?
I didn't. He went for a swim and I didn't stop him.
You didn't stop him from going for a swim. That does sound like bad parenting, Rocket.
Well, how old was Jimothy in the time of question?
He was like 10. He knew better. He was old enough to know better.
He's old enough to know better, but young enough to not care.
He went to go for a swim, you know. How do you think swimmers... Jimothy was not meant for this world.
Jimothy was too good for this world.
No, he was too shit for this world.
I'm going to stick with my original thought that he was too good for this world. Jimothy. You cooking me a crumpet?
No, do you want me to?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Crumpet, crumpet. You like crumpets, Bucks?
I'm English, mate.
Yeah, so that's a yes.
Dial it to 100.
Well, we went.
Cover it in butter. I want it swimming in butter.
We went to a restaurant. Yeah, I want swimming in honey. We went to a restaurant the other day, a little pop-up restaurant that literally just sells crumpets. It's a crumpet shop.
That sounds like a great time.
It was not as exciting as it sounds, unfortunately, but it was nice. I liked my crumpet.
I'd go back there.
Yeah, Rocket and I would go back, but you know how you build something up in your mind. We'd talked about this crumpet shop. We were like, we're going to go there. I love crumpets.
You put way too much hype
Just
on it.
way
didn't
too
you?
much pressure on it, and then we ended up coming home and buying crumpets, and the ones that we had here were better.
Can you just tell stories?
Rocket,
Where did you put it?
you
That's
just
tough.
tell stories. Did I put it in the fridge?
What would you put it in the fridge for? Are you a psychopath?
Did I?
Not that I can see.
Excellent, I did. I'm not a psychopath. Well, they were just crumpies. I don't know that there's anything special about them.
You can have all different savoury
But yeah, they had savoury ones.
They
And
had a hundreds and thousands one, which I wish I got that on the side.
yeah, I just got a normal traditional one, which was honey
Does Rocket
and butter.
like bread, or is that like another weird thing that she doesn't like?
She likes bread. She shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to eat gluten. But I do.
She's like, YOLO.
But I don't love bread.
Yeah, I love bread.
If I had to choose between bread and pasta, I would choose pasta.
What about if you had to choose between being rich or being stupid?
I would definitely choose being stupid. Being stupid would be so good. It would make my
Being
life-
stupid would be pretty good.
It would be amazing because everything would just be like you wouldn't realize how bad the world was. It'd be great to be stupid, so I'd definitely choose that.
But if you're rich, you can afford to buy whatever you want, and you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about.
but money doesn't make you happy when you're thinking about the existential reality of being born and how you didn't choose it. which is what I think about all day, every day.
Apparently, you need to write a book, Rocket. The fans want to hear your take on the world.
If there's a Kickstarter to pay me to write a book.
Yeah, we can do a Kickstarter. The World According to Rocket, we'll call it.
I don't think these ideas are very
Good.
outrageous. I think
Well, if they're more rambles, we'll just call it Rocket's Rambles. That'll work.
Rocket's Rambles. There's your name of your book.
So I don't know why my name is Rocket. So we get to the bottom of that.
I can't remember.
So you pulled the trigger, there is paint being slapped, and the diorama is underway. I managed to catch, obviously, a little bit at the back end of the stream yesterday, and it looked like you were going hard on the throne.
Indeed. Let me show you where we're at. So we have this chap. Ba-ba-bum-bum. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Good.
Yep. And then we did a little double tap on this guy while we're at it.
You know, you do paint skulls real good.
Thanks,
One
buddy.
of the features of what's her name, Rahel.
Yeah.
The skulls on the back, very very nice.
Thanks, buddy.
Very nice.
Well, you would know. You have that model, so
I do.
Oh, you wanted more honey.
yeah, more honey, Rocket. Yeah, honey me up, honey, honey.
Don't ever call me that again.
It's crumpy time. Yes, it's crumpy time. Well, you can have a little nibble if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna make a McFakey.
Oh yes, crumpeting it up.
He's sending it. It's a full send.
Rocket, I think we
Yeah,
need
so-
we need to go for the square crumpies next time because you get more crumpy.
No, you get more.
Well, it also seems to hold everything a whole lot more, right? The square ones.
Yep.
The circle ones tend to give it up. Like, they're dripping out the sides, out the bottom, but the square ones just more absorbent.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the charm of the rocket.
Go, mate.
So, what else has been good, mate? What else is what's news?
It's an interesting time. The Cowboys
Yeah, we're-
lost. The Cowboys
The
lost.
cabbies, yeah.
They lost. But I'm hyped
Are
to
they-
paint.
Are they out now, or is that like
They're gone. They're done.
yeah?
I wash my hands. Wash my crumpy hands. Thanks, my crumpet.
No worries.
No, mate, this is the thing about me. I'm a pretty boring guy, right? I go to work, I come home, I paint models. My mate comes over and plays board games, or I go to
Yep.
my mate's house and play board games, and then I paint models and I go to work.
Nice.
And Rocket and
Seems,
I,
it's pretty similar to my lifestyle, really.
yeah, Rocket and I watch some TV or watch some footballs interspersed in there. We take a little dickhead for a walk most days. That's just my life, mate. I'm not an interesting guy.
Shall we both enjoy a laugh at Sydney Swan's expense? What are they even thinking? Get
That
out of here. If
that
there's
is-
any Swannies fans, leave now.
Mate, they were just happy. They were just happy to be there.
You've been shamed by your team. You're on a 1 week penance.
They were just happy to be there, mate. Simple as that.
Terrible.
Yeah, awful performance in a final, but hey. The Lions didn't make it, neither did your team, so
No. My team has made it into the news for some other reasons lately, so
A Hawthorn, is it?
hey Rockets.
it's a bit hairy. I noticed was there some CB chat going on with Benny before I jumped in tonight?
Yep. So we've got the rules pack ready and all graphics up. So we just need to get Jimbo's website side of things locked in, and then the rules pack's ready to go. We'll announce the event, and we'll talk to Arc painting competition, whatever that one's called. I can't remember. Is it Arc
Arc Open, I believe.
Arc Open, yeah. So that's going to be a really cool thing to be able to have two painting events within about 2 months of each other. In Europe they have SMC and then Monty within 5 weeks, and I'll tell you right now, neither of those events are harmed by it. In fact, I think it's actually gets everyone pumped up.
I think so. I think that the desire after the first one to be back, back in that space as quick as possible is usually very high, right? Like you go to an event, you're like immediately like, all right, I want to go to another event right now.
Yeah. So the fact that we've now actually got an event that we can go to, a few months later, and one that doesn't have an awful lot to do with us, which means we get to experience it all together as a family. What are you laughing at, Rocket?
Is this the Black Swap one?
Yeah, the wife swap.
Yeah, it'd be such a great family event.
So that'll be good. What are you planning on entering Crimson Brush, mate, or Arc 40k, Arc Open?
Arc Open. Well, I have a project that I want to do that I'm going to keep to myself. So we'll leave that one. I'll probably bring almost everything I've painted this year, I guess, and hopefully try to squeeze a couple more projects out between now and then, combined with this other one that I want to do. So probably a couple more busts, as I think that's the best for time frame.
So it's a slightly different rules pack. So there is a limit on number of entries per category.
Is there?
Yep.
Well, for Arc?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I know. It's 3 entries per.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking CB there. If we're talking talking for Arc,
either or.
For Arc, I think I'll pick one project to do, like my best I can do.
Yeah.
And then I might take like one other, and then whatever I feel like out of the CB stock.
So you've got a secret project for Crimson Brush, have you?
I will be doing one, yes.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And when you say secret, do you mean secret from the world, or do you mean secret from just me, as with someone involved?
It'll be just secret from the judges.
Yeah, well, I'm not a judge this year.
You're not a judge, but I need to pick someone to be involved in the viewing of it, because I'm going to have a soundboard, right? Like, I can't be in an echo chamber by myself, because I'll need constructive and fair criticisms. So I know that I'll probably be showing Ben, because I think we agreed we'll both show each other whatever it is. But yeah, I might bring you in on that.
Well, yeah, let's wait till we're a bit closer or a bit more progressed, because
you might not want to be. You might be like, no, I want to.
Yeah, I might want to see it. I might want to see it as a surprise. Could be fun. Let's talk a little bit. So I had a really good time doing the judging streams. Rocket didn't have as good a time, and I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but we were both pretty cooked last week. So
we're pretty fried, eh?
Yeah. Now that you've had a bit of time to reflect on it, how do you feel the experience was? What have you taken away from it? What do you think will be something that you work on moving forward?
So I actually I think I kind of compartmentalized and put most of my learnings in like observing yourself and Christoph, and on the judging side of the event, and ways to provide critical feedback, and the nuance in doing so, the balance of both, positive feedback, sometimes sledgehammer feedback, and somewhere in the middle is the critical feedback, right? So for me, that was like a pretty important one to learn, and I think I touched on it a little bit the last time we were hanging out last Monday, where it's like I probably don't have the eye, like the precision in the eye yet to look at something and immediately be able to sort of deconstruct a piece.
Yeah.
And I think both yourself and especially Christoph seem to be able to do that pretty much straight away. whereas I think I just see the things I like, and I think that comes from not being on that side of the coin enough, right? I think the more you judge, the more you can do that. Whereas if you're just used to seeing stuff like without being a judge, then I think you might focus more on, this is cool, that's cool, whatever, move on. So
He's a knowledgeable guy, hey?
Christoph is, incredibly knowledgeable. It was a really great time to spend with him. Again, thanks for the opportunity. I mean, we're very far away in the world, so opportunities like that aren't going to come around very regularly. It was pretty awesome to watch how he sort of processes a model and what he looks for, and the feedback that he's given. I mean, I think I've already immediately applied some elements. Probably no secret, the blue in the shadows one. I've always led more towards warmer shadows. So
yeah, purple. I like purple.
Using some purples and blues has been fun to do. So
it just got me frothing to paint, actually. Seeing some of the works. Really excited to paint. I had a couple of the guys on yesterday's stream because it's more of an American friendly time zone.
Yeah.
Where talking about some of their entries in the feedback, and apparently a few people were a bit unhappy with the feedback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I said, cool. Unlucky for them.
Okay, give me the scoop.
No, I didn't ask, because ultimately it doesn't really matter, right? People are entitled to feel upset about it. They're entitled to feel however they want. Our goal is never to upset people, to hurt people's feelings, right?
No.
It's to try and, from our perspective, create some opportunity areas to improve. Like, if you think you know everything about painting, go and have a look at Kirill Knave and then come back to me and tell me you still know everything about painting.
Yeah.
Kirill would be the first guy to say, I don't know everything about painting as well, right? So there's always things to learn. There's always things to improve. And if you go into life and learning with an open mind and being willing to receive feedback from whoever or whenever you get it, you'll do a much better job at improving at whatever task it is that you're trying to improve at. The only open piece of criticism I'll accept is that maybe I'm sometimes too blunt.
Yeah, you can be blunt, but I think that's part of the character and a bit of the charisma as well. I mean, I'll say that, like, the whole Discord had been titled, like, turn up to get roasted, you know what I mean? And like the term roasted was used so frequently, and that would caught me off guard because I'm not used to like that being sort of the dialogue that we use for feedback, you know what I mean? Like, so I thought that like the community sort of got a hold of that and we're having some fun with the whole idea of coming in and getting strips torn. But I mean, I've got one piece of advice, and I think this sort of extends through coming from a strong sporting background. But if you can, this is going to sound a little bit maybe not for everyone, but if you can take it and take it well, you'll just grow faster, right? Like if you can handle some pretty unshackled feedback, it will fast track you to getting better. You build up a resilience to it. I think you grow. There's a difference between really strong feedback and just being bullied or belittled or told you shit or whatever the case may be. But like if you're getting really firm, solid criticism consistently, you're going to grow way faster than if you're not getting it.
Yep. It's interesting you talk about sporting though. Like that's, it's an example of probably a situation like I work in a corporate environment, and sometimes I have to modulate my approach to things to account for the fact that corporate world and what have you. But sometimes you'll see on a footy field one player just giving another player an absolute bake, right? Just going a ham on him or her, and you see the way some players and clubs respond to that sort of stuff, and then you'll see other players will be like, well, you can't speak to me that way. And it's never the best clubs, It's never the successful ones that have those sorts of conversations, because
Yeah.
it's about accountability in the end of the day. Like, if you are accountable for your actions and someone calls you out on your actions as being shithouse, you own that. You just own it. There's no, yeah,
It's a two-part thing though, right? Because you can hold someone accountable, but in that environment, you're also, if you're going to be responsible for holding that person accountable, you got to be responsible for help building them back up and
Yeah.
bringing them back into the fold. You know what I mean? And getting the best, help them get the best out of themselves. So
Yeah.
like, you can't just lambast someone and leave them. I
Yeah.
think you've got to, if you're gonna hit them with the left hook, then pick them up with the right. You know, like. So.
yeah. Because I have developed a relatively thick skin,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't always had it. There's been many times in my life where I've been told I need to have some fries with my sook burger
Mm-hmm.
and have a cry, and it just doesn't get you anywhere, right?
No. Oh, and we all have it. We all have things that trigger us into feeling a bit hard done by, right? Like,
Yeah, but in this situation, this environment, art is subjective. There will never be a consensus on what is good, and you have to go into something with eyes open that that's the case. That there will be discrepancies. There will be people who think differently to what you think, and
very much so.
yeah, there's no point crying about that, I don't think. Anyway, it was a wonderful experience for me, mate, and I'm glad you also had a good time. We'll
Like again, and I think the you know, if there are a few people who are a little bit, you know, bummed out by some of their results or some of the feedback they got, you know, that's the nature of it. For the most part, I saw plenty of people really chuffed with the judging and chuffed with how it all went down. So
yeah, you'll never make everyone happy, right? So there's no point trying to just try and have.
And like, I guess the other thing, we're humans as well, man. So at hour 4 of processing feedback for people, you're getting a different Andrew and maybe a different Trent and maybe a slightly different Christoph to what you're getting at hour 1. You know what I mean? It's just the nature of doing something like that. You know, it's.
Yeah, I was certainly pretty consistent the whole way throughout, but I do know that there was a couple of pieces where I just said, you know what, you've taken a shit photo, so that's it.
Yeah, and that's like the photo one is like the one that I would just, to everyone here, if you're ever going to enter a painting competition, like, get your photos together, reach out to someone, hey, are these good photos? You know, it's very hard to judge an online competition with poor photos. I mean, you only have to look at something like what was it, the Cult of Paint, what was it, the thing online they did, the
Miniature Painting Open,
Miniature Painting Open that they did. Like, they had a full criteria, right, for photos.
Yep.
Yeah, Scar. Some of them were on the real sort of low end scale for photography, and it makes it incredibly hard to judge. Like, you can't tell what's shadows, what's not, what's done, what's not, what's painted. You know, yeah. So, well, I think that it sometimes, a question that I wanted to pose actually to you, and this will tie into everything, is, do you think you could tell a very big difference between people who painted for the event and people just entered maybe a gaming piece they were particularly proud of, or their latest painted thing or something like that, you know? Because I reckon that coincides with some shoddy photo work as well.
There was certainly people who painted stuff purely for the event, and there were certainly people who just entered what they had.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's the people who are just entering what they have that might just go, you know what, let's have a bit of fun. I'll throw this in. What harm can it be? Snap a photo and send it off.
Yeah.
And if that's their mindset, then you can't blame them for taking a pretty average photo, because they're not trying to take a good photo per se. They're just trying to get a photo of their work in and done. So
Yeah. It was a noticeable gap in a lot of the pieces was the photography, and I don't really have a good solution for that because it's fucking hard to take a good photo of a miniature.
it's so hard. Like
I can't do it. I'm
yeah,
trying.
like that's the hard part. Is
Like I
probably the most, Christoph is incredibly competent at taking a good photo, it looks like, and I'm sure even if you asked him, he'd probably think he could do better. Like,
well, DC's a photography expert,
yeah,
and having seen his works in the flesh, I don't think his photos come close.
yeah.
So, if he can't get it, I'm cooked.
That goes double.
This is definitely a bone.
That's a thigh bone, isn't it?
Yeah. Where is some wine red? I want wine actually, or do I want a different one? No, wine will be the go. Just made me want to paint though. That whole experience, I walked away from it just thinking, where's them brushes at? Including Kingdom Death pinups.
Yeah, I need to paint something Kingdom Death. I've only got a gold smoke night to my name. I did that, at the start of last year, very early on in the, maybe like early last year.
They're very, very good models. Very, very good.
Yeah, I'd like to paint the butcher. Like, I mean, people, you could see people who really thought about it, because there was a correlation on entry, right? Like there was tons of butcher, there was tons of visionary, Pasha. Is that it? Pasha or Pasca?
Yeah. I think it's Pasha. That's a good model, hey?
Yeah. That is a good model.
All right, so that no, people probably miss the mark on placing themselves. Maybe 10%, 15%. There was a couple of entries in beginner that were just like, yeah, you shouldn't be in beginner, mate. And then there was a couple of entries in masters, well, you shouldn't be in masters, mate. But I mean, I think overall it was reasonably well self-adjudicated.
Yeah, I think so. And there was a few people who stitched themselves up a little bit jumping in masters.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to drop someone out of masters into intermediate.
No, you can go up, but you can't go down.
Yeah.
Stick pretty firmly on that one, personally.
Because it's aspirational, right? You should want to be going up. Well, I'm don't know if I'll even be involved next year, mate. It's wasn't anything at all to do with me actually. Like it was just I just got tagged in, asked to be a judge, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. Do you want me to do a stream of the judging? And Melanie was like, if you want. And then somehow what turned out, because it was the previous year they had like 25 entries and the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, that'll be sweet. I'll do a judging stream for that. Next minute, fucking 130.
It was quite a few, wasn't it?
Yep.
to hit another positive though, like it's just a lot of fun to be involved. For me, anyway, it's just a lot of fun to be involved in this sort of stuff.
Hey, Frog,
Like in any capacity, I'd like to sort of give back and pay it forward.
Well, yeah, they were talking about, next time we should really pay the judges, and I was like, well, look, as much as I appreciate that sentiment, it has to be volunteer. It has to be volunteer because when you're at a level where people are like, oh, you should judge, that's when you need to start giving back to the community. Like, you've already achieved what you wanted to achieve, likely out of stuff. Sure, Ben, you can get some feedback on your latest project, mate.
Yep, we can definitely have a chat about it.
Is this the mountain man? No, it's a joke of some description. Let's have a look. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What a team.
This is it.
Is it?
This is it.
We're so pressed together.
This is our new logo.
There's so much love. Is this our year, is it?
This is it. This is us, mate. We're in. I'm putting this in the top corner, mate. I'm keeping this on the stream. Boom. I can get in.
I'm glad that Ben chose two photos of us, or a photo of us, because this is all one photo, but we've cut everyone out between us and just sort of like magnets been drawn together. But the genuine enjoyment of that weekend, that day, shines in this photo, I think. We were having an absolute blast, so good choice, Benny.
Hey, there's a fucking painting competition up here in Brisbane this weekend.
Is there?
Yeah, it's called Game X.
Who's doing it?
I don't know. It's like some first year event out at Strathpine. I have no idea who's running it. I don't know anything about it.
What to do with that?
Well, I probably won't do too much, mate. I think it's
yeah.
I'll try and go down on the weekend if I get a chance, but
yeah,
I don't know that entering in a small first-time competition is the right approach for the big dog.
There is a bit of that involved, isn't there? Once you got a bit of a name for yourself.
What do? You just rock up, you enter your stuff. Like You're not trying to fucking be a dickhead, right? You're just like, yeah.
No, you're trying to be involved in, like in what you love, but at the same time, you got to be careful that you're not turning up to,
Yeah, it's you're not going to splash around in the kiddie pool. That's
I was gonna say you're not turning up to Pee Wee League.
Yeah. All right, let's pull Kane off and have a little bit more of a play on Kane.
Fuck me.
What?
Great choice of words.
Have a bit of a play around with Kane.
Let's pull Kane off and have a bit of a play around with Kane.
Oh yeah. So I think I want to go almost white with Kane's skin, like all the way up to a very, very pale, pasty pink white. But maybe that's a shit idea.
No, that's the right idea. I don't think you can overuse that purple skin too much. Yeah, so maybe we should put a podcast together. We've been rolling around the idea for a while.
All right. If a
put
podcast,
a little more preparation in.
If a podcast is coming the way of the great fans of the show. Here is some of the things we need to establish. First of all,
How many minutes do I have?
it has to be a video podcast
Yeah.
because you can't do a podcast about miniature painting in an audio format.
Without visuals. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that's problem the first. Problem the second. When do we record it?
Yeah.
Because I've committed myself to streaming
Mm-hmm.
on certain dates and times. And
You've got gaming.
yep, got gaming. And then I've also got a girlfriend who lives with me and hates every part of my hobby.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
Rocket, everyone heard that.
Yeah, I said that's not true.
You can't say that about me, that's not fair. Rocket's a hater.
Why she'd like this.
Why do you like this, Rocket? No, so I don't want to overcommit my time, right? In the past, I've overcommitted myself to things, and that's been what's turned me off those things.
For sure.
So it probably has to take the place of something else if we are going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's, do we sacrifice Party Monday once a fortnight or even once a month and do Saturation Generation on that night?
I reckon that could work, maybe once a month. And what's our game plan? Like once a month, get guests in,
Yep.
do some maybe an hour of feedback and critiquing.
Well, the
do,
third
like a 30
question
minute
is
segment of what's around and what
what's
we're
the
liking.
topics? What's the topics? What value do we add?
Well,
Why
what
should
do we
people
add?
Why should people listen to our podcast? What value is there?
Well, for starters, there's no one really, I think,
Cult of Paint.
talking about painting coming out of our country, not on an international scale. There's people talking about it internally, not that I know of anyway. So, and Australians have a different take to some degree on the way things are done and the way we go about things.
Yep. So I'm open to the idea, but it just needs to feel like there's a value add. Right?
Yeah, we've got to be giving. We've got to be giving. We've got to be also getting something out of it.
See you, Benny.
See you, Benny.
So,
what would there's plenty of people watching right now. Like, what are some of the things you like to hear us talk about? What don't you like hearing us talk about? What do we fucking waffle on about too much? And Frog Jim, I'm painting Targa from Hera right now.
yeah, is it we critique rather than critiquing overseas art or artists, we focus on looking at work that Australians have done. However, that then becomes a bit of a wank fest, right? Because all we're talking about is Dave Colwell.
Well, look, there's plenty of Australians painting, but maybe not enough Australians know where they can go to be a part of the conversation and have a bit of a chat and get involved in the broader scene in our country. I mean, alternatively, we can just shackle Dave to the ankles and make him our draw card, kind of like a dancing bear,
Yes, dance. Dance, little jiggle boy. No, he's boring as batshit, Dave.
Duets, sing-alongs. Yeah, look, being larrikins, Frog Jim, is something that comes naturally to Trent and I. So there'll be no shortage of just being absolute flogs at times.
Most of the time for me.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk more. Like, we can definitely increase the conversation about, painting for gaming and stuff like that. We cover both ends of the spectrum for that, with Trent doing a lot of sort of board gaming and myself being a bit more involved in the wargaming side. Wanking off different types of plants. There's only one plant frogged him to wank off, mate, and I actually managed to get my hands dirty literally the last time I was in Brisbane. There is footage of me somewhere out there giving a lonely philodendron the time of its life. So that's already been achieved, my friend. The one thing we could do as well, if we're doing it monthly, is we would at least be able to do almost 3 months in person, right?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, we could
be able to do one for QME, one for... Well, we would probably skip doing one at Crimson Brush. We'd just be doing Crimson Brush. But we could do, we could do Arc Open.
Yep.
Hey, Shader.
Lord Shader, welcome. Welcome to the Saturation Generation.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Oh, Gen Sat.
And this is the sticking point, right? And this is actually one of the reasons why I've struggled so much putting together an advanced class. What topics do people need? You know, what are the things that people want to hear or want to talk about that you can actually add value? Because that's my point. I don't want to just put something out there because, oh, hey, look, we're two white friends. Let's do a podcast. You know?
Yeah.
There needs to be a reason and a adding value.
Well, I mean,
when we did Oz Machine, right? So Oz Machine was my podcast that I did for War Machine. It was widely hailed as one of the greatest podcasts ever done in the War Machine universe. And that's not me blowing my own horn. That's actually many people feel it is the best podcast that was ever done for War Machine. Now, what did we do differently from everyone else? Well, the first thing was we had an Australian perspective. And, hey, Rocket, we played differently to other countries and other places. So we got to share our perspective on how we approach things. Now, we don't really paint that differently to other places, I don't think. So,
we don't paint differently, but maybe it's not necessarily about that we paint different, but how we manage our painting might be different.
I'm just cognizant of adding value. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And we don't want to look like jokers, you know what I mean? We don't want to... if we're going to do it, if you got to do it the best you can.
Yeah.
I can't do, half-assed.
Yeah. We throw a full pussy at it.
Yeah.
So, Paul, that's a wonderful, hey Rocket, wonderful thought, right? But how is the podcast format the right place for that? Is this not a better place for that?
Yeah, I think maybe we drop the word podcast per se.
Yeah.
And we're doing a stream that is a time stream. Specifically, it might be like a 3-hour stream broken into blocks and segments. We're probably not reinventing the wheel. There's a few people doing that sort of format. Some are doing it for YouTube space. Others, I don't think there's anyone sort of doing it on the Twitch space. But we come in with our perspectives on things. We probably have access to different types of guests that could come on the show.
Yeah.
We can talk about, our perspectives when it comes to the things behind painting that affect painting,
Yeah.
stuff like that. We can talk about our events. We can use it as a place to hail events, you know. Yeah, we can talk about new podcasts coming out. We can. What is that? Like, so many channels have like pick of the month. We can come up with something a little more creative and funny than that. Yeah, products is an easy one. The problem with products, Frog Jim, is sometimes there's a whole bunch coming out at once, and then other times there's nothing, right? So,
Hey Rocket, here's the other problem with products. I don't care about what Games Workshop figures are coming out.
yeah.
I don't care about what paints are coming out. I only have a limited interest in what models are coming out unless they're a Kickstarter, in which case I'll be like, "Ooh, can I make a diorama?" But yeah, it's a neat idea, and we should nut out some concrete topic ideas to see if it's worth pursuing. And maybe we can just do a dry run on this show. We can just be like, "All right, friends, tonight it's the dry run of the saturation generation, and Andy and I are going to talk about the following topics and see if that's any good." Wonderful question, Paul. Wonderful
I'm
question.
gonna have to update my rig.
What is the goal? What is the goal of the podcast? Well, the goal of
Naturally become famous, right?
of my stream is so that I don't have to work anymore and I can just paint toy soldiers for a living. No, that's not true. No, the goal of my stream is mostly because I want to. What? Hear myself talk, Rocket thinks.
You would come back to your war game podcast in the car.
I used to, yes.
You do use it.
On occasion, yes.
Well, watch the stream back.
No, well, yeah, I used to. No.
Sorry.
No. My goal is to get better.
Yes.
What did you say, Rocket?
I'm talking to myself.
You're being so mean to me.
No, I'm not. I'm talking to myself.
Is it because you made me a crumpet and then you're like, I did something nice, I've got to be mean to him. Treat him mean, keep him
I'm
keen.
just practicing for my own podcast.
Is that Liam, our Liam, the Australian Liam? Or is it a different
Which
Liam?
one?
They're talking about in the chat.
Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I think we at the root of a show would be mainly a focus on display painting for us, as that's our primary interest, and there's plenty of there is 1,000,001 people doing content for Warhammer and doing content for other gaming systems and things, but what we love is display painting, and there is a crossover there. There is times when we're display painting Warhammer stuff. There's times where display painting gets put down and I pick up, some armies to paint and things. And we'll probably have a chat about that throughout the process, but it would never be the feature of what we're doing.
Rocket, the goal is for us to get you painting on stream. Are you down? Yeah, well, that's the goal, mate. We want to get you painting.
Look, there might be a segment with Rocket and Bucks, and we might be talking what teas are hot right now.
What teas are hot? Tea time with Rocket and Bucks. Yes.
Drinking tea is essential to being a great miniature painter.
Alright, am I going to try something wild right now? I'm going to try doing veins with an airbrush. Hugo News Roundup. What things did Hugo eat this week?
What about a community group working on things towards Crimson Brush? Well, we sort of peel back the curtain a little bit on the inner workings of Crimson Brush in the lead up just through Trend Stream as per that time of year anyway. So, and because a good chunk of Crimson Brush is also streamed.
Yeah, we should be streaming quite a lot.
I can't wait for that chance, that opportunity at CB. Maybe something that we can be potentially trend as a place to help bring some Australian artists and painters to the broader stage as well, right? Like help.
Yep. Good on you, Mozzo. We look forward to seeing you there, champion.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed Vincent Treverian's podcast. I thought they covered a few topics. I think the one I liked most was the American versus European one that they did on painting styles. But I think they came in from the angle like, is one better than the other?
And
if that's the angle they did come in, then there's not much of a conversation.
The answer is yes, and it is the European one. Yeah, no, hopeful for CB this year that we'll have quite a few entries. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try some veins. We'll try it on the back and see if it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dot of paint on here. And then I'll try and... Nope, that's just dried it. So we need to put some thickening stuff in there. See if this works. Not too bad. Is it more effective than just doing it with a brush myself?
I think you just need to do it with the brush.
How dare you?
Well, look, you have some great ideas, mate, and you have some not so great ideas, and this is a not so great idea. Right?
Let me live my life, Andrew.
Listen, we talk about accountability, all right?
Oh, we've done it. We've gone.
Oh.
It was an awful idea.
It was a terrible idea. I have these ideas regularly, my friend, so don't worry. Yeah, Frog Jim, we might do stuff like that. We might even could do some colour explorations. That's a bit of fun, you know. If that adds value, you know, and it's an interesting topic for us to talk about. I mean, that's probably the two things that have to marry every time, right? Adds value and is fun to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a reason for me to want to do it. And that's not me being a dickhead. That's just like, well, fuck, it's my life.
Listen, chat. I'm just trying to get Trent through to the next game that totally war game that grabs him. There'll be one day in the future that grabs him, and when that happens, I'm going to grab onto the tornado and we're going straight to the tippity top.
We're going hard,
and then we'll have a podcast for days.
We will. Probably this stream is a better place for those sorts of questions, Frog Jimothy. I would think.
Finished Ozark last night.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Is that the whole series done?
Yep.
Is it good?
Look, it's a 5-star series, I think, but lucky. I'm pretty flexible with like being okay with endings.
Yeah.
Jubb was like,
Shattered.
is that it? Yeah, she was shattered. I was like, I can live with this ending. It's fine. But that leaves me open for a new series to start watching, and I believe it's my choice this time. And there's plenty in the gun.
I love it when it's my choice. It's my choice at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm savouring it. What are we going to watch? We did actually watch Emily in Paris. G'day, Wes. Which was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I loved it, yeah.
What show was it? It was Ozark.
Utopia, yeah. Rocket likes Utopia. Reminds her of her life. What did I watch the other week that I was just like, yeah. I was just gonna say, what did I watch the other week that I was like, yeah, it's just the greatest show I've ever seen, and it was The Expanse. So,
yeah.
And you were the one who recommended that to me, so.
Yeah. That was a while back now. You've got so much, like... I mean, look, the new season of Cobra Kai is out.
Yep.
That's always, like, a nice, easy watch.
Yep.
I've still got Witcher Season 2. I've still got the last season of Expanse to watch. I think you got ahead of me now.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've got The Last Kingdom, latest season to watch.
The second season of The Witcher is significantly better than the first. G'day, Nat. How are you?
Hey, Nat.
Welcome to the Saturation Generation. Boom, boom.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute between streams, Nat. I think I remember seeing you at least on one before. How are those plinths going? Glad to hear it.
Everyone should go follow Natalie on the socials. Eva Studios. Commission her to paint you some models. Do something. She's tremendous.
She's got a fair few projects going at the moment, I think. I think we're going to have a nice plethora of things to look at from that at CB.
If she makes it. Coming this year or what?
For sure she is.
Or are
I
you
can
gonna
already
stooge
tell.
us again?
Yeah, there we go. Already a com booked, ready to go.
10. Good stuff.
See, now I've been telling Trent that we're comfortably going over. Well, I think the best on record was 160, and I'm promising Trent over 200 comfortably. And he thinks I'm an absolute clown for projecting these numbers.
I do.
But I think that if we deliver over 200 entries for CB, then there needs to be some form of celebration on the night of dinner. Did you see Ray's latest piece?
Me?
Yeah.
I believe I did, yes.
The Loot Studios.
Yes, I did.
I quite like that.
I haven't seen his stuff in the flesh, but from the pictures on the internet, it looks pretty damn good.
Just gonna put the aircon on for a bit before I go to sleep.
Alright, Rocket.
I'm gonna get up at 4:30.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got Pilates tomorrow. Awesome.
Yeah, for sure, Nat. What's this? Yeah, you've had the luxury of being able to see most of what's coming, like out of New South Wales, right, Eva? Right, Nat? The Sydney Painters Guild is going quite strong. Is the slanger talking about the top corner? He must be. I don't know how he feels about me giving him the nickname the slanger, but look, it's sticking. I'm trying to make it stick.
It'll stick, mate.
You had just enough space for people last week. That's so awesome, Les.
That's good. Yeah, it's cool to see something like that sort of popping up and having some legs, driven by Seb and Jimbo, obviously, and Jared's been a big contributor with the venue. So yeah, it's great to see. And look, I said this a couple of weeks ago, but Sydney's in the past, Sydney struggled to get numbers of people to classes. You know, there was a time when I would just book Brisbane, Melbourne, and Canberra for classes. We wouldn't book, or potentially we'd do 2 Melbourne classes, because we just couldn't get a class in Sydney off the ground. And this year we've got 2 classes in Sydney. It's outrageous. So there's obviously some benefits being seen there, and yeah, I'm excited for it. It is magnificent, Mole Man. I knew it wouldn't be. I knew it wouldn't be Ben. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the same level of skill as you do when it comes to graphic design. So that's obviously a masterpiece up the top left.
Yeah, Mole Man. If you want to try your hand at developing something a little more tasteful, we're an open market right now. I mean, we're not locked.
Yeah, that's a magnificent one. Sleepy Slang's girlfriend heard you call him Slanger. And she liked it.
There's a lot of things to do in Sydney. You can paint, stand in the rain, or go inside and watch the rain. and be grossly humoured like the whole way through, right? Am I going to just create my own colours for the axe on this chap, Trent? Am I going to just mix up some random colours? Because that's what you can do with non-metal metallic. You can literally use any colours and just put a shine on, call it a day.
Do that. Yes.
If we're going to do that, maybe we'll go get Mr. Pazarski's colours. Play around with.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm excited for Sydney. I think, you know, I'm hopeful of coming down for the painter meetup at some point soon. Rocket would like to go down for a weekend, Sydney. I'm sure she'd love to spend one of those days without me.
Are you talking about me again?
Yes, Rocket.
What's happening?
We're going to go to Sydney for a Sydney Display Painters Group catch up.
When's that?
They do it once a month. So we'll just go down for a weekend. It's on a Sunday, I think. So I'd go to that, and you could go to the gallery or
Love that.
anywhere that I'm not at.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love Sydney.
She just said she loves spending time without me.
No, it's just that I love Sydney.
Well, that's probably a good thing because it allows you to do the things you like. So
Yeah, I can't wait till that thing in January, Christmas rush.
my cat wants to get out.
So we were just talking about, yeah, just come along anyway, mate. You don't need to be good, right? Competitions are not about being good. It's the journey to self-improvement. Just come along and meet everyone. Have a good time. Especially Bucks. Wes won an award last year. He won the juniors award. That was very amusing from me. I think that's
No,
all.
I'm going to take a photo of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up and let's have a bit of a talk about what I'm doing here because I don't know. I've been too disjointed on this particular model. Like I've had too much of a gap between, and now my brain is struggling to come up with a game plan.
Let's see if I can turn autofocus off. Yes. There's way too much focus on drive to succeed these days. I just want to paint my soldiers and have a nice time. Oof. The Dresden Files. What about that magnificence? Isn't it great? What would I recommend after that? Have you read David Gemmell? Oh, definitely you should. The third book is where it actually starts to turn on. The first, he's a novice writer in those first three books. Oh. He's my favourite author of all time.
All right, here we go. I'll chuck it in voice chat shit.
It is indeed in the Oz Painters group. Follow Stonebeard Miniatures on Instagram as well. They post about it on there.
Yeah, it has its own. It has its own Instagram page as well, which is the Sydney Painters Guild.
On your Wes. Alright, let's bring it up. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Tick, 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 boom. Yo, are you ready for me yet? Pump it up, Prince. Yo, are you ready for me yet? Pump it up, Prince. Here I go, here I go, here I go, yo! Boom. Boom. Alright, what do we think, Buccarino? What are we looking for here?
So everything is softer than what it's showing. Obviously, that's the sharpness of my phone being the worst.
Yep.
The hair needs more work. Some of those, like some of the darker points, aren't in the right places at the moment. The overall colour is okay. I might need to glaze it just back a little bit. I showed David a photo of this a few days ago, and he thought the hair was probably a little bit too loud at the moment. But hard to tell once the piece is like where the piece is at. Like none of the non-metal metallic's done yet. The question I'm asking is, like, I'm a little bit bound by the colour of the clothes, like for the Stonebeard t-shirt colour.
Yep.
But I'm like, what kind of non-metal metallic am I doing? Like, what colours? One idea is that I could do the little banding at the bottom of the axe, the two teeth at the top of the axe, and then the stud spikes on the shoulder, all gold.
I think let's go out there and let's try and do a green.
Agree?
Green. If you so you've got that green tinge in the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and do not like non-metallic metal with a green tinge, but green.
Yeah, like you want me to do a green, like a emeraldy sort of,
an emerald
like
axe.
fantasy style.
Yeah, go out there, mate.
It's the colour that I had actually thought a little bit about. So I'm glad that you've said that. What I could do is I could do it so just the edge of the blade is non-metal metallic.
Yep.
And then do like the rest as like a green.
Yep.
And then I could do like the studs as a green.
You could. Yep.
Or we could do the casing of the axe like non-metal metallic and then a green inlay. With that central bit.
I like that idea. Yep. I
Yeah, you
that.
like that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
normal, non-metal metallic, and then a green inlay on the
yeah,
inside.
like an emerald inlay,
Yeah.
jade inlay or
Which
something.
means we could probably still do the gold teeth as well.
Yep, yep. Let's do it. Let's make it a full Australian axe, green and gold. Rocket's having a chuckle over there. What's funny, Rocket?
Well, that makes it easy. I think the little brace down the bottom will be gold then, right? I think that's the colour it should be.
Yeah. I'm keen to start this orc project, mate. It's just a shame.
I'm
I'm in this.
very keen.
I'm right in the midst of this thing, hey.
Yeah. I actually was like picking them up and like, if only I could just start these. So can I get a head start? I might need it. Yeah.
I'll show you the base in a little bit, just before we wrap up, because it's looking pretty good.
Sounds awesome. Evo definitely got green environmental lighting set up in the hair already, so having that play into the axe would be nice. Yeah, it's like a weird hair color that I was just sort of playing around with, like the idea of some kind of nod to a stone beard. So I don't know if you're here before. This is a birthday present for Jim. So and like I'm sort of sitting more in my comfort zone on this than sort of pushing myself crazily. I just had a couple of pieces that I've sort of gone a little bit further in, so I wanted something nice and easy.
Yes, like your Uther,
Yeah,
which was out there.
it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
I felt like I grew a lot on Uther.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think the plan will be, after this vampire project, we dive straight into the orcs. So
Easy.
I'm
I'm ready.
I'm biting off quite a bit there.
It might limit my number of entries for CB, or mean I'm just bringing a few more chaff ones.
Well, we don't have to, mate. We can do something else. October. Oh my God, Mozzo, you're on point
It's
there.
supposed to be.
It's got to be October, doesn't it? Do I shelve the vampires and go into orcs for October? It's a good idea.
Do you want to shelf the vampires?
No.
No. I don't think you'd be comfortable with that.
Well, I don't even think I'd have room, mate, because I've got to build this orc base too, don't forget.
Yeah.
Jimbo's building the
Oh.
base for us, though, so we've got some movement on it.
What's he building? The boat.
He's building two plinths for us to link together
Yeah.
and pull apart. And remember we're doing a skyport
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, we're doing Skyport now, are we? Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking Stardust.
Yeah. Yeah. That random idea just became real. I like it.
Yeah. So instead of having a water dock, we're going to have a mountain dock.
Love it.
And the way that we're going to link the two together is I'm going to build up a mountainside on one, and then so the mountainside will be one plinth
Mm-hmm.
with the actual dock, and then the other plinth will be the boat, and then the two just join together.
Love it.
Yeah, The problem with the plan,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, well, we should have separate, so that way you can enter your like little boat diorama,
Yeah.
because you're not being forced by, like, we've got two separate parts, right? So you've made your part, I've done my part.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it means we need to have like less connectiveness on the piece, you know.
Yeah. Like it needs to be two pieces that, when they sit next to each other, look like they belong in the same world.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. After doing that whole non-metal metallic um, piece, a little bit of a taste for it.
You have.
Get a little bit of a taste for it, eh? A little bit of suffering never hurt anyone.
All of a sudden you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm in here.
So much so that I think I've. So you know, Jim's getting Ignis in.
Yeah.
I think I've jumped on board that new piece, the one that Moses painted.
Yep.
The huge sword, armored, veiled
Yep.
warrior. Yeah.
I've got quite a few Ignis pieces. I quite like them. You know, the only reason that Jim hasn't sold an absolute metric fuck ton of models to me is because every range he's brought in, I've already bought direct from the manufacturer like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Pretty much got.
Yeah, he's playing catch up a little bit, right?
Yeah. I'm one of those unfortunate people that Jim's like, oh, do you want some of these? I'm like, well, Jim, I've already painted 75% of that range, so probably
You're gonna have to
good.
say no this time, mate.
Probably good at the moment, actually. So
I'd like to see you paint another. Well, we're going to get that opportunity, so maybe I'll hold that. I would have liked another Black Sailor's bust from you.
yeah,
You did Papa Jumbo a long time ago.
I did, very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. Alright, we will have to finish up stream soonish. Rocket's got an early morning. But I'll show you the project, or the plinth, the plinth work. Just a little touch of paradise. I haven't grabbed it out yet. Sorry, mate.
No, it's okay.
I'm
It's
just-
okay.
I'm
I was
just-
going to say it was a nice. Another little one was it was nice. It was a nice feeling to get a little share around from Fur Miniatures last week. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Fernando. Nice dude, Fernando.
I would I'd like to see a few more people paint that bust.
Yep.
Not many people have.
The one I did, yeah. Well, the one you did. We both did.
The one that I did.
Yeah, we both did a Fernando piece recently.
Which one was your one?
The night that.
Oh yeah, you did the sick one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me want to paint that. I'm actually
Yeah.
going to paint that.
Yeah.
I should talk to Juddo.
What is the trick there? The trick is being a good painter.
The trick for what? Sorry, I was off screen.
Jim
What's the
knows.
magic trick to make sure an M&M isn't the main focus on a piece, but the face, etc.? Well, I guess it's the piece itself sometimes. Like, it's pretty hard to not have, like, if you're going to do a full, if you're going to do a full suited, knight in armor, and 90% of him is metal and 10% is face, then I wouldn't hesitate to say that you just paint a really good face, but then just paint really good non-metal metallic, right? Like, and if the non-metal metallic happens to steal the focus a little bit, well, what can you do? Like,
I'll answer the question because I think that it's a trick question. The
Yeah.
face has always got to be the focal point, right? But non-metallic metal has value contrast. You need to lean into the other types of contrast to create the face being the focal point, and that is saturation. So you want to have a warmer skin tone that contrasts from the less temperature that you have from your non-metallic metal.
yeah, that's a way better answer. Yeah. I just realised that I did like a green non-metal metallic all over either. Suck shit, David! Nothing new today!
Suck shit. Saturation generation. Suck shit.
Yeah. He hit me with that. I think like he's been pushing me pretty hard lately to step out of my comfort zone. I should be, whether that be painting in colder colours. If you go back and look at he's on the money. Like there's a correlation between all my pieces and being quite warm.
Yeah.
Doing some warm cold lighting, all that sort of stuff. And he's like, I believe you should always sort of be looking to try something new on each piece. And so that's where the suck shit David comes from, because there'll be nothing new on this at all now.
Suck shit. All right, let's put all the. I'm going to put all these things together because I haven't done that yet. See how it all looks, because that's important. Plenty boy. This bit with the king. His nose is a bit black there, Deno. You absolute spud.
Some nice swarms coming from that candle area.
Yeah, we'll get there with the candles, I think. Haha! This needs to come back. Alright, well, I think the overall vibe is okay. The rocks are working pretty well, I think, with the colours, and the skulls all look pretty good too. The gold is a real key in making this guy a standout piece over and above these guys, but I do think there needs to be probably some dropping down of this level of light more to this colour.
Where the light's coming from for your gold as well, like do you need to adjust your reflection points to be much brighter on his far right side, because that's where the light's coming in, right?
No. Oh yeah,
shoulder?
so the light's coming from this side in like this, so the lights need to be strong on this spot, and the shadows on this side. So I like it so far. How's it going to look with the rest? Let's grab the rest. This is a heavy base. Alright. This is the overall base situation right now. So this mad dog sits here. So I think so if the light's from here, we probably need to really lean into the shadows more here, really darken that up. I think we'll go for maybe we will go for a bright red clothes there again, to really, maybe that might be the only point of red on the whole model is his robe, just to really draw the focus. Not sure, something to think about. Yeah. Thanks, Enrico. This area over here will be mostly in shadow down here, but we'll be able to use these same colours. This area is going to need some more light. I think I need to make that darker, the orange light darker. Thanks, Wampa. Yeah. All right. It's good. It's good so far. We'll just leave that as is. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, Andrew.
No problem.
On the saturation generation, let's come up with a clear topic.
Yeah,
order.
we'll roll that around. We're going to prioritise our diorama first. That'll be the next big project for the saturation generation.
Indeed. Saturation generation. You can have a look at my paints. Yeah, cool. All right. So next stream from me is once again Sunday morning, which is American time on a Saturday night, and I hope by that stage I will have wired all of my electronics and we'll be on to some of the other models that have been painted or undercoated, I should say. But actually the Sibylla sits at the back of this, so I could bring Sibylla into the mix. However, I think I might save her till last. Is she my favourite model?
Oh, don't say it.
Who is my favourite model from this? Who do I save till last, Buccarinos?
You liked the winged vampire.
I did, yeah, you're right, the winged vampire. But I sort of...
But the problem with saving him till last is that he also fits with the gnarly one on top of the tomb.
Yep.
So I reckon you do those two together, and I think you do the two blood dragons together, and I think you do Sibylla and the Thingo girl together.
Yep. All right. I'm in agreeance. All right, friends. Let's find someone to raid. CHK's on. We're raiding CHK. Okay, let's go. Because he's a wonderful man.
Tony is a wonderful man.
CHK. Yeah, mate. Cowboys. Great season.
Yeah.
Next stream. We'll talk next stream. Awesome, friends. Have a great night. See you wonderful people. 3rd overall. And finished in the preliminary final, which is a tremendous achievement. But, yeah, we'll talk another time. See you, Bucks.
See you, mate. See you, everyone. Have a good week.
El party es un juegazo. ¿Cómo empezaron a entrarte encargos de